profesor en el Fashion Institute of Technology, con la conferencia Metodologías ágiles para la industria textil, un espacio para hablar sobre las metodologías ágiles, modelado 3D, sostenibilidad, ahorros en el desarrollo de muestras, entre otros. Emanuel, bienvenido al pabellón de conocimiento Inexmoda UPB.
Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, good. I'm sorry I'm going to be speaking in English. Sorry. That's what you get for inviting an American here. Right? But I want to welcome you to Columbia Tech's talk on agile methodologies for the textile industry. My name is Emmanuel Sepulveda. I'm currently adjunct professor at the Fashion Institute of Technology, and I work in professional services for Optitex USA in New York. I'd like to thank my hosts for allowing me to present these issues that are of growing importance to the industry today. In our time together, I'd like to discuss the fashion and textile industries from the point of view of technology and how digital tools can help the industry in some very important areas. We'll discuss the current problematic state of fashion and then discuss how agile methods can be used and implemented to combat these issues. I hope by the end of this talk, you'll have a better understanding of the role, benefits, and processes that digital transformation can have for the industry. As fashion cycles compress, and with the development of mass communication, trends spread more quickly and there's greater demand for products. Vertically integrated, fast fashion companies like H&M, Zara, and Mango develop local supply chains that aid in shortening the development cycle from months to weeks. Brands, manufacturer, and supply chains seek new ways to shorten these development cycles. A combination of apparel CAD and PLM can be used to achieve efficiencies, resulting in reduced costs and time to market. Let me tell you something. Since the year 2000, clothing production has doubled, okay, has doubled. And that's created some problems. Today's efficiencies and productivity has come at a cost to our environment. Yes, the news is real. The fashion and textile industry is the second largest consumer of water worldwide. The polyester garments of those 92 million tons take 200 years to decompose. We're not just talking about consumer waste, it's the waste coming from development, design, photography, and marketing purposes. We are all overdeveloping and making garments for a living and spending an average of $6 to $8 billion creating physical samples which are pure waste, never sold or worn by a consumer. We're not just losing money, we're hurting our environment, leading us to ask, what can we do to make the way we develop clothes better and more sustainable? Although it's a big question, a part of the answer is an increased reliance on digital product development, where we can develop styles virtually using virtual fit models, virtual avatars. We can see concepts quickly, test ideas. We can make amendments virtually, check the prints, the trims, the logos, and reduce travel costs of visiting factories and traveling to fit reviews. Okay, what do you want to do?
So we will start.
Okay.
And they will indicate it to you.
Okay, okay. We're going to start over? All right.
Vamos a volver a empezar, puesto que creo que tenían problemas con el audio y la traducción, si no me equivoco. Así que pidan a
Reanudaremos
disculpas.
esta conferencia en contados minutos después de resolver los temas técnicos con la traducción simultánea.
Okay. Otra vez. All right. ¿Listo? No? Okay. Industries, from the point of view of technology and how using digital tools can help the industry in some very important areas. We will discuss the current problematic state of fashion and then discuss how agile methods can be used and implemented to combat these issues. I hope by the end of this talk, you'll have a better understanding of the role, benefits, and processes that digital transformation can have for your company. As fashion cycles compress and with the development of mass communications, trends spread more quickly and there's a greater demand for products. Vertically integrated fast fashion companies like H&M, Zara, and Mango develop local supply chains that aid in shortening the development cycle from months to weeks. Brands, manufacturers, and supply chains seek new ways to shorten these development cycles. A combination of apparel CAD and PLM can be used to achieve efficiencies, resulting in reduced cost and time to market. And listen, clothing production has doubled since the year 2000, and that's created some problems. Today's efficiencies and productivity has come at a cost to our environment. Yes, the news is real. The impact is real. The fashion and textile industry is the second largest consumer of water worldwide. The polyester garments of those 92 million tons take 200 years to decompose. We're not just talking about consumer waste, it's also the waste from development, design, photography, and marketing. We are all developing and making clothes for a living and spending an average of $6 to $8 billion creating physical samples that are pure waste, never sold or worn by a consumer. We're not just losing money. We're not just losing money. We're hurting our environment, leading us to ask, what can we do to make the way we develop clothes better and more sustainable? Although it's a big question, a part of the answer is an increased reliance on digital product development. We can develop styles virtually using virtual fit models, virtual avatars. We can see concepts quickly. We can test ideas. We can make amendments on the screen, check the prints, trims, logos. We can reduce travel costs of visiting factories and traveling to fit reviews. Knowing that we can develop digitally but how is that going to help us? How can we meet the demand without the cost of physical sampling and the impact to our environment? Although it's a great question, a part of the answer is a greater dependence on the development of digital products. The development of digital products represents a significant change with respect to our previous forms of operation. However, there are some costs, but many benefits. Some of the benefits include a reduction in the time to market, increased sales at full price, less sampling waste, more agile management of resources. Products can be developed more quickly in less time. Sampling and the associated costs can be reduced. Cloth purchases can be made more accurately, and there's better visibility of the state of each of the components. But new processes involve new ways of working, and people are often resistant to change. It's important to be aware of the personal impact change has on members of our organization. With less reliance on the physical sample, there's going to be greater reliance on the digital sample. A certain feel interaction will be lost. This is especially difficult for designers. However, what you lose in feel, you gain in productivity. New technology requires new skills. Also, the personnel issue. Who's going to run these new systems? When are we going to be working in full capacity? What is the downtime? And then the responsibility issue. To receive the benefits of reduced timelines, more responsibility will have to be borne by the originators of the product. Historically, product development was performed by the sewing vendor and then has a back and forth of samples. This situation evolved from brands wanting to reduce overhead costs by farming out more of the product development to the sewing vendor. In order to develop the product more completely, the responsibility of product development must be taken by the brand. And the sewing vendor is primarily responsible for the physical sampling and production. We've discussed some of the costs and benefits of digital transformation. The next phase is to do some soul searching and find out if digital transformation is right for our organization and see if our organizations can support this type of change. We need to ask ourselves, is there a need for this move? Are delays, underdeveloped product, supply chain issues causing us to miss delivery deadlines? Are costs being managed properly? How is the market going to respond to this change? Are your brands and vendors going to be supportive of the change? Will they grow with you in making the change? Is our company committed to change? Is there enough organizational support within our company to make this change? Do you have the personnel that can guide the change? Right? These are important questions to ask. If digital transformation is right for your company, the question is, what is the path to change? The first step is have a realizable plan. Planning is the most important part of making a change. Many software, hardware vendors have specialists that can help writing a plan. Consultants can be brought in, run a discovery, which will help with a fresh look to the issues your company faces. Effective change management goes beyond project management and technical tasks and involves leading the people side of major change within an organization. The primary goal of change management is to successfully implement the new process, products, and business strategies while minimizing negative outcomes. Start with the low-hanging fruit. Digital transformation happens best when companies realize small wins on the way to achieving their goals. There are some very simple changes that can be made that will improve decision-making and buying decisions. For instance, if you're underbuying or overbuying fabric, marker-making software can help your buying decisions. This is a simple, effective way to directly impact the purchasing of the costliest component of the garment, the fabric. If you're being overrun by patterns or you're paying for digitizing or marker services, working patterns digitally will streamline the workflow, allow you to create a digital repository, reduce waste, and reduce the need for marking and grading services. Then you want to continue with end-to-end solutions. Finding various solutions that work together can be difficult. Therefore, partnering with solution providers that can address your workflow from the beginning to the end of your product development process is key. Having non-streamlined solutions cause inefficiencies as there will be time and data loss in converting information from one solution to another. Clearly defining the tasks that need to be accomplished by your software solution will help your software provider to tailor a solution to your situation. Okay. Different software and hardware solutions are available, and each provider has strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, it's necessary to find the solution provider that has the strengths in the areas that you intend to develop. For instance, some solution providers are strong in hardware. If you need cutting or lay management solution, it would be best to use a provider that specializes in hardware. Other solutions are strong in software. If you don't do cutting, your end-to-end approach may be different. In making these decisions, it's best that you choose what is correct for your organization. If a key vendor has a recommendation, it should be considered, but the decision shouldn't rest on that recommendation. Validate end-to-end solutions with an open mind. These solutions are working around the world successfully, and in many ways, they are generic tools that can be applied to different situations. What is required is that your employees can use them and find the workflows that work best for your organization. They may only use 20% of the functionality, but that 20% is 80 to 90% of what needs to be accomplished. And don't reject a solution because it doesn't address exactly the problem that you're trying to solve. Sometimes the problem, as you've defined it, is not the one that can be solved with a specific solution. Openness to the range of problems and solutions you have available is an approach that will yield a more successful outcome. The final stage, information management. Along the way, information has been flowing from the brands to you, to other vendors, and networks of relationships have been developed. At this final stage of digital transformation, the low-hanging fruit has been exhausted. You've achieved efficiency through end-to-end workflow, and now there are two fronts available for refinement: automation and PLM. Automation allows workflows to be automated in a specific way. For instance, let us say you make team uniforms. If you receive the order, automation may compile the graphics for the team, all the names and numbers of the team members, pull the correct sizes, and lay the marker in preparation for the artwork. Automation isn't necessarily going to replace your workforce, but it has the ability to help them efficiently handle more volume. PLM. In my opinion, PLM should be considered last in this cycle, because in my experience, I've never heard of a company performing a PLM integration that was smooth or that delivered on the expectations quickly. Potentially, PLM can fill the information gaps between product development, vendors, and brands, and produce high levels of visibility of what is happening at any given moment. This information repository is very attractive to any company that would like to gain control over the information flows instead of being reactive to them. Oftentimes, PLM providers are distinct from the CAD providers, so connections will have to be bridged through API development at additional cost to the implementation. PLM is able to pull measurement information, bill of materials, seasonal color, 3D renders, and other types of information from CAD data. Remember, PLM is a generic solution that must be customized to your situation. Most of the cost of PLM is the implementation phase where the APIs must be developed in order to connect with other systems. Primarily developed by the automotive and aerospace industry with long lead times for product development, it's often difficult to develop a PLM solution for the apparel industry that addresses the shorter time cycles and needs of the apparel market. What to avoid in digital transformation? Digital transformation is a process, and it's a large change. Change will require leadership support. Leadership should be committed to the change, and project success should only be ascertained after full implementation. All those who are going to be provided with new tools and procedures will need time to acclimate and make efficient use of those tools. Reducing short-term expectations will reduce the pressure on the organization that is going through significant change. The do-it-all approach is destined for failure. Change should be implemented with a plan and organizational understanding. Making too drastic of a change can alienate people with the skills needed to be successful. Change must be accepted, seen as a positive way forward, and not a further complication of an already complex situation. Refinement of design, the business model, and operations using digital tools can help produce greater customer understanding, better digital accessibility, refine your business. You can create faster digital networks. You'll have a better grasp of your operations. You'll have increased customer satisfaction and profits, and reduce the impact on the environment. Gracias por tu tiempo y atención. Espero que te disfrutes el resto de Colombia Text. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Emanuel, por escribir junto a nosotros el futuro del negocio de la moda. En este momento los invitamos a salir del auditorio y vivir la experiencia del conocimiento en los espacios del teatro, ya que estaremos preparándonos para la siguiente conferencia. Les recordamos devolver los